What's up, everybody? Big John. You know what's going on. There is, I'm going to try to settle this debate or these people that we all know that if there's something that someone doesn't understand, they automatically are in fear of it. Okay? There's people out there that don't understand the chemical cleaning, whether you're using a peroxide or whether you're using any product that you're using. You know, people are generally worried. Am I going to get a purple label? That seems to be the big thing. If you do your due diligence and you do the things properly, you're not going to get a purple label. If you leave residue on your book, the graders are going to see that. They're automatically going to assume that you've cleaned the cover or you've attempted to restore the book or whatever. I do not restore comic books. I just clean them. I take off what's on them, but I rinse or wipe off the residue with distilled water. So I've never gotten a purple label. So for those of you who are still, am I going to get a purple label? Am I going to get restoration? You're not. Okay, send your book to someone who's already done all the practicing and all the ruining, and then they don't do that anymore, right? So I'm here to talk to you, I hope for the last time, okay? Because, you know, personally, I'm getting really sick and tired of people damning when they themselves don't use them, and they've never used them. They've never done chemical tests to prove anything about a product. They just want to run their mouth because they don't understand what they're using or what we're using, and they shouldn't understand because they haven't done trial and error. They haven't done their due diligence. They haven't shown any patience. All they want to do is hate and debate, right? This is Imaculean. Put as simply as I can, this is a hand soap that doesn't clean your hands. That's all this is. In the physical world of cleaning the human body, this is the last thing you'd want to use on your hands. I mean, just for simple dirt, this shit don't work. Okay? But for some reason, it has a good effect on comic book paper and newspaper print in general, right? Does this leave a residue? It does. Okay? When you wipe it on when you cut this with distilled water and you wipe it on the book, you can see streak lines. You can, right? But if you take, after this is on there, if you take distilled water and you put it on your little makeup pad and you wipe down the cover, you open it and you wipe, because you're going to press the book anyway, and you wipe down the inside with distilled water, and you might have to do it one more time. It's one time and it's done. Then basically you're wiping off the residue. Also, you don't want to go and just like, you know, when you're adding this, you want to, wipe, right? So whatever the last time you did is going to leave maybe some streaking. It does happen because I use this sometimes a little heavier than others, so I definitely get the residue, right? But then you have to do the next step. You have to wipe it off. Once you get it off and you press the book, there is no residue left there is no evidence that you ever used a clean. Never. Okay, I have done thousands of books. I have been using this product for a little over almost 2 years now, and there is no purple labels. Okay, I have done countless books, countless, with this product. Okay, with this product. Now, with this product, does it take several applications to remove dirt and grime and, as other people say, schmutz, boogers, whatever? It doesn't matter. Does it take a few times? It certainly might. Depends on the filth of the book. But you will not get a purple label for attempted restoration. You won't even get the little thing where they're doing now where it says cleaned cover, or the cover has been cleaned on a CGC label or any other label, because there is no evidence that you did anything but press the book. Okay? The one good thing about Imaculean that I like the most is I get a paper fiber clean. Not just cleans the surface, right? It cleans all the way down to the paper fiber. Why it can't do that to your hands, I have no idea. But it loves newspaper print. Okay? Also, peroxide. People are using this product. I put it out there and saying that it's a product that I use, and now a lot of people are going out and they're buying it. Okay? The one thing about using peroxide, right? If you're just using that straight out of a bottle, right, then you can either do it a couple of ways. A gentleman gave me and Rick a shout out that he learned our techniques and he tried it. He actually submitted the book and it didn't come back purple label. It came back a blue label. He was hoping for a 9.0. He got a 9.2, right? So let's just stop. Stop. For all you haters, you know what I'm saying? I got a can of Shut the Hell Up right over here. You can have it, right? Or come by my store and I'll teach you. It's that simple. People are always afraid of what they don't know. So just stop. The peroxide and making the paper brittle, right? Once you add the peroxide, however you do it, with the foam, brush, makeup pad, I don't care how you apply it, once you put that on there, then I don't use a foam brush applicator because it makes it too wet, right? I don't do that. Also, you don't want to just wet the cover of your book with nothing behind the cover. So you want to use a non-stick sheet in between the cover and the first page, because you don't want to do any liquid through the book, just the cover. So put a non-stick sheet between your cover and the first page, close the book, and then do your application. I use a makeup pad remover. All your wives know what they are. They use them on a daily. And I wipe it onto the cover. Then what I do is I take another pad and I have another push bottle that has nothing but distilled water in it. Then I'll use a little bit of distilled water on another pad and I will wipe while the book is still wet from the peroxide. Now, does that mean I'm going to have to use more than one application? Yes, but I've been doing that for 10 years, right? And the way I do it is I'm adding water over my peroxide and it gets into the paper fiber and it stops the burn. That's what makes your paper brittle, is the burn of the peroxide. The same thing it does to your fingers if you don't wear gloves. The same thing that stuff does to your fingers is doing to the book, right? So it's burning. So what I'm doing is I'm stopping the burn after I leave it on there for about 25, 35 seconds before I use the second application, and it stops the burn, right? Then I'll put it under UV light. That box he made was killer. I made one myself. I just haven't had a chance to put it on my table. I made it about 5-6 months ago, but I made mine out of wood. And I didn't use the grid lights like he did. I used my poles, and I just drilled holes in the side and stuck the poles through, and it works unbelievable. So, and I did the mirrors, of course, that way you get good reflection. The light stays in, not out, right? But the whole thing is, then you stick it under the UV light, and it's not just the purple light that makes your covers white. It's the heat and the light combined that starts making the bleach effect. It starts making it whiter. But this product I like because it doesn't interfere with the color of the book, only the whites of the book, right? So, in short, for those haters out there on Imaculean, the last time, it is a hand cleaner that doesn't clean your hands. It's not a floor stripper, right? It's nothing like that. It's a damn hand soap that doesn't clean your hands. That's it. That's all it is. But it works wonders on newspaper print. Okay? Which is what comic book paper really is. The peroxide, if you're worried about brittle pages, then do it twice. Do it 3 times. Right? If you want to do it and you want to do it properly and not worry about, is it going to make my pages brittle? Right? And not every book requires peroxide cleaning. They don't. Foxing, dark shadowing, yes, you're going to need it because Imaculean is going to not make it whiter. It's going to clean the dirt off and clean the paper fiber of its dirt, but shadowing is different. So you're going to have to probably bleach that 9 out of 10 times with the peroxide mix, right? So add your peroxide mix, however you're going to do it. And when you're done, wait about 30 seconds, get you some distilled water, not wet, not overly wet. Use a makeup remover pad and put some distilled water on it and wipe down the cover, and you will stop the burn, right? Because the peroxide starts to work almost immediately on the paper, right? So it stops the burn. Then you can do it 2 or 3 times because you might have to. My average is about twice, right? And then each time you put it back under UV light, right? And then do it that way. Always remember too that wet paper is weak paper, and I mean that shit gets weak. So be mindful of that. When you start adding pressure, you could pull that book right apart. You could put holes right in that book. I generally let my books dry completely for 24 hours, and then I go back and I do my second step. But again, I have more patience than God. So, and I've been doing it for so long and ruined a lot of books when I first started. And I started using peroxide like 15, 20 years ago. And yes, I ruined a couple of books by doing it. But then I got the pressure where I was just letting the pad and the pad's weight only. So just dragging it slowly and letting just that. So I'm not oversaturating and getting the book too wet, because it doesn't need to be sopping wet. It just needs the application enough to get into the fiber itself. So again, Imaculean is a simple hand cleaner that does not clean your hands, but it works good on newspaper print, right? And comic books in general. The peroxide mix that I use it straight, but then I cut it with distilled water, so it makes me use a second application because I don't want the pages to be brittle. I am not trying to destroy a comic book. Over time, I'm trying to preserve the integrity of the book so that it lasts for more generations. Okay? So I hope this helps some people, and if it doesn't, come by the shop. I'll be more than happy to demonstrate it, and if you're still a hate, I'll give you that can to shut the hell up before you leave. But for right now, for the Comic Book Underground, I am Big John, and I'm out.